ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you to the Lake Geneva Raceway in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, for the opening round of the 1994 S.O.D.A World Series of Off-Road Racing. Today, it's the Chevrolet Memorial Day 100. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, working alongside for the third year in a row, Ivan the Ironman Stewart. And then we come to 7S, and this may be a real Donnybrook because the sheer number of vehicles, but also one man who's made the jump from Class 9-10 and brought with him a manufacturer that wasn't with us last year.
That's right. Art Schmidt, who I've really admired his driving, has jumped up class to Class 7 out of 9-10. He's extremely fast. He's brought Nissan. He's going to have a brand new truck. He's going to be a guy to watch. Now,
there's a third member of our broadcast team this year, Rick Johnson. You may recognize him from driving the Chevy Thunder in the Mickey Thompson Stadium Series. Well, we're just glad to have him down pit side. Rick?
This is not the Indy 500 or the Baja 1000. Pit stops are not a part of short course off-road racing. If a driver comes in here during his race, it means he's had a problem on the track. We'll be here to give you that information. I'll be in the pits all day talking to drivers, mechanics, and crew chiefs to give you the inside lines from behind the scenes.
Well, thanks, Rick. You're definitely the one guy no driver wants to see today. Race conditions absolutely perfect. If you've been with us the last 2 years at Lake Geneva, you know the weather gods have plagued us, but today they are cooperating. Now let's take a look at this wonderful layout at Lake Geneva, Ivan.
Well, Marty, this is one of the trickiest tracks we have, in that we have a long, high-speed straightaway into a real sharp right-hand corner here. You can see it's slick, and you can see exactly what happens when these guys come in too hot. Back around the backside gets loose and gnarly, hard to pass. Big right-hand corners, and then we have the front section that's a transition from dirt to asphalt and then back in the dirt again. You can see what happens right here when the guys get a little too hot coming into this corner. This is Walker Evans too hot.
That's all action from last year's race. This is how you score points in the True Value Pro Series. First place is worth 20, second 16, third 14, fourth 12, and fifth place 11. Now, you can only score points through the top 10 places. So if you do not finish or you do not score in the top 10, it can be very costly. Let's get ready now for Class 7S. Now, these are the mini pickups. And again, you're going to see Scott Taylor in this race on board here with Art Schmidt. Now, Art's a great story. Here's one of the drivers who has moved up from Class 9-10, and he has taken over the ride in the Nissan. As we get ready for Class 7S, Ivan, tell us what it's all about.
These trucks are two-wheel drive, production mini or mid-size pickups. Engine's got to be 4 cylinders, maximum of 2.5 liters, and about 200 horsepower, Marty.
And here is the starting field. Scott Taylor, the defending class champion from Belvidere, Illinois. He'll be in the Ford. John Greaves looking to rebound in his Toyota. He had a disastrous 1993. He couldn't find the finish line. Jeff Kincaid, he's also in one of the Fords, the True Value Ford Ranger. Art Schmidt, we talked about him momentarily. Here he is in the Nissan, making the jump from Class 9-10. Brendan Gaughan from Las Vegas, Nevada. He's part of the Walker Evans Racing stable. He'll be in the number 711, and that is a Jeep. And Al Walentowski also in the field in the 712. That is a Ford Ranger. Again, 2.5 liters. Here's the rest of the starting field as we have got 16 total vehicles entered. And again, the Le Mans start. And boy, I'd hate to be on the right side of that screen.
Well, I tell you, Marty, it'd be a tough place. This is going to be a great start. Here's big field. Art Schmidt gets a relatively good start. Good start.
Take a look as you are riding on board. Hold on to your lunch as we're up and over off of the oval here at Lake Geneva Raceway. And again, critical turn here, turn number 1.
It really is. Lots of traffic. Typically slick down here. Doesn't look very slick right now because it's tough to get through. We got a little bang up already.
All right, let's set it for you. Al Walentowski's in first, John Greaves second, Jimmy Crowder third, and you're on board with Art Schmidt in fourth.
Now notice a little light on the right-hand side of the dashboard. That's probably an over-rev light. Something that's coming on every time he over-revs the motor. We can see the tack. We can see the tack go up and the light come on.
Now the battle as they head on to the back straightaway for the first time. Walentowski has never won in Class 7S in our True Value Pro Points series. But what a great start here.
He really does, though. I tell you what, he's got one fast competitor right behind him. That's Johnny Greaves.
Greaves trying to find the inside. Boy, last year, John Greaves had so many times where his truck just did not make it to the finish line.
He did, Marty. It was just a...
Oh, and Walentowski's pulled over to the side momentarily. It looks like maybe it stalled.
It jumped out of gear, possibly. Something like that. And Johnny Greaves took advantage of it. We got Johnny Greaves leading.
So John Greaves, just as we talked about now, many times last year we saw him in this position where he would get in the early lead, but the truck just would not make it to the finish line.
He has a little black cloud hanging over. Let's see if we can change it this this year. He sure looks good right now, doesn't he?
Last year at this event, Jeff Kincaid was the winner and John Greaves was second, and that was his best finish of the year in the televised races that we saw on ESPN.
I think, John, if you just settle down and realize we got to spin out.
That's Brendan Gaughan tangling with Michael Burke. So those two get into each other. That's going to cost each of them a few spots. That's 8th and 9th that they were tangling for on the race course. So there is Johnny Greaves. Al Walentowski's got it back in gear. He is second. There is third. It looks like Jimmy Crowder has moved in front of, and Jeff Kincaid. In fact, Kincaid has gotten around Art Schmidt, and there in 5th place is defending champion Scott Taylor.
Very seldom do you see Scott Taylor back that far. I think he just got a real poor start.
This is the battle on the race course right now for 3rd position. Jimmy Crowder in the 747 trying to hold off Jeff Kincaid. Kincaid dives to the inside but can't take the corner.
Just got the door slammed on him.
Now there is Al Walentowski, still with his best performance that we've ever seen in the years that we've been covering this class. And the battle really heating up. Scott Taylor closing down now on Jeff Kincaid and Jimmy Crowder. And look at Taylor trying to go underneath Kincaid.
Watch how well Scott Taylor's truck works. Off the jumps, you see the rest of the trucks hit the front end and bounce up the front end. Scott Taylor just hits the sticks. That's exactly the way you want him to handle it.
And Taylor gets up on his side. So just as we talk about how well the truck is handling, Scott Taylor hits a rut and pitches the truck up on its side.
Well, he got way off on the left-hand side and hit him. It looked like a double rut over there, an extra bump.
Take a look at it again, Ivan. He gets wide, and this is what's going to cost him.
He gets wide. See, there's a big bump on the right-hand side back over. It's hard to see, and that's what he caught, just one little piece of it. It's just that simple and that easy to do.
So for the first time in a long time, we see Scott Taylor on his side.
Well, that's right, Marty. But I'll tell you what, if you don't do that once in a while, I don't care who you are, you don't get on the side, you're not gonna be going fast. That's part of the little fire right here, Marty.
Well, and it looks like it's going out on its own. And let's take a look at it again on board now. This is the view that we get from Art Schmidt's Nissan.
Everything looks fine right here. He gets off to the left a little bit. Just catches that one big run on the left-hand side and up he goes.
Now this is the battle for 3rd. Again, it's Jimmy Crowder trying to hold on to the position. Jeff Kincaid trying to take it away from him. Kincaid's got the inside line. He's going to do it.
Look at the big push Jimmy Crowder's got. He got out in that loose stuff and you can't get out in that loose stuff. It's real muddy. Just pushes the front end.
Boy, but look at the rebound on Kincaid's truck. You were talking about that. These guys are going to be back on the drawing board a little bit trying to adjust that suspension as the season progresses.
You really need to get that out of it. You need that front end and the back end to come down, hit the ground, and drive away. See, once it jumps up the second time, you have no control over it.
And you're losing valuable time to this man, race leader John Greaves.
Notice how John Greaves' truck just hit the ground, settled, and he can drive it again. That's exactly why you want a race truck.
So Greaves still running in 1st place. 2nd place is Al Walentowski. Jeff Kincaid 3rd here at the Chevrolet Memorial Day 100. Don't go away. Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson back with you at the Chevrolet Memorial Day 100. There is Scott Taylor, currently shown in 7th place. He's back on all 4s. And here comes race leader John Greaves to put him a lap down.
Well, I tell you, Scott has got a major problem. He's got something leaking, either a valve cover or transmission leak of some sort, blowing on the headers possibly, Marty.
A lot of smoke pouring from that vehicle, and he is in jeopardy of going a full lap down to that man, John Greaves. Let's go down to Rick Johnson in pit lane. He's caught up with crew chief John Galano. Rick?
John, crew chief for Scott Taylor, what happened out there?
He tried to make a pass in the back, got bumped, rolled over, and then lost tranny fluid. He was on his top for a time. Transmission fluid came out the field too.
So it's just smoking, but it's not endangering the motor?
I don't think so. Motor seemed to be running strong, running good.
So Scott Taylor nursing home a wounded warrior, and this is John Greaves on his way to a potential win. And boy, I don't want to put the X on him after last year.
I tell you, that little black cloud he had on him last year, maybe he's gotten rid of that. It sure looks like it.
2nd place. Oh, no, I was just getting ready to say 2nd place is Al Walentowski, and he is out of the race, stopped on the side of the course. That would have been his best finish. Now, Jeff Kincaid has moved up into 2nd place because of Walentowski's misfortune. Here is your new 3rd place position and a great run for Art Schmidt.
Art is really doing well. It's really interesting to see how well he'll do in a truck because, as you know, he's been so tough in buggies, but it looks like he's adapting very well, doesn't it?
On board with Art Schmidt, get an idea how much different the ride is in a 7S rather than a Class 8.
See if we can see that red light come on again. See if he may have been, what happens typically, guys get over aggressive at the start of the race, over rev the motor. Now look, You never see that light come on again, Marty. He's settled down. Things are smoother. He's probably going quicker.
Well, so far, look, boy, he's just working that.
Sports Center is brought to you by Beck's Beer, the #1 imported German beer.
Is Brendan Gaughan. He is in 6th place. Bill Bowles is right in front of him, out of camera range.
Now, Brendan has never done much short course racing like this, Marty. He's done a lot of desert racing. His dad owns the Barbary Coast in Las Vegas. Very big supporter of off-road racing.
And they are making a full run this year in Class 7S. But here is your race leader, and that is the white flag being shown. 1 lap to go to John Greaves. And, boy, this would be a great start for him.
Exactly. Now, if he'll just settle down, opposed to what he's done in the past, and try and run the fast lap on the last lap, he can win this race, Marty.
So the 28-year-old from De Pere, Wisconsin, just basically half a lap away from claiming victory here. Oh, no. But it won't be a great finish for Jimmy Crowder. He was running in 4th. He's down in the pits. Let's go to Rick Johnson.
What happened out there?
We changed the springs on it and put too much rebound in it, and what it done, it nosed down and hit the berm over and messed up the front steering on it, so I can't steer.
So here is our race leader, John Greaves. Final lap, just in fact, the final turn. He has 1 jump, Ivan, and it looks like he's going to put the hex behind him that he had last year.
Well, that's right, Marty. It looks like reliability was his problem last year, and it looks to me like he did a lot of work over the winter and it's paid off for it.
So here is John Greaves taking the checkered flag, the native of De Pere, Wisconsin, winner in round number 1 of the True Value Pro Series Championship in Class 7S. All part of the S.O.D.A World Series of off-road racing. A great crowd on hand. Stay with us. We'll be back to talk to our winner at the Chevrolet Memorial Day 100 after this. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports, welcomes you to round number 2 of the S.O.D.A World Series of off-road racing. Today we're in Antigo, Wisconsin for the Chevrolet Off-Road Championship. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, and over my shoulder, I guarantee you those grandstands will be filling up as we get ready for race action. In Class 7S, if Scott Taylor wants to defend his championship from last year in the True Value Pro Series, he's going to have to do better than his 7th place finish in round number 1.
Scott Taylor also had problems in that pre-run session. Walker Evans blew a motor. Scott Taylor, a transmission. Compound that with his 7th place finish at Lake Geneva, it opens up the door for 3 players in the 7S championship. Johnny Greaves, the winner of Lake Geneva, Jeff Kincaid, 2nd place, and Art Schmidt, 3rd place. Jeff, what's your game plan for this race and your championship?
Well, we didn't get a very good draw for this race, but we're going to try to work our way up right away, right to the front, because that's where I like to run. I don't like to run two or three. I want to run to the front.
Art, you won championships in buggies. What's your game plan for the year?
Well, we've won a few championships. We're used to winning, and we're going to be there in the truck soon.
2 different philosophies, but 1 goal, that championship in 7S.
Well, thanks, Rick. Let's take a look at the race conditions, and the bottom of the screen's the important factor. There are thunderstorms in the area. Hopefully, they may skirt us, but it doesn't look good right now. Let's take a look at this course layout, Ivan.
Well, Marty, as you can see, we're running an existing sprint car track. We start on the back straightaway, down the front side, around a big sweeper, into the Moco section. Lots of passing down here. As you can see, there's either guys get through here well or they don't. Lots of action. Back around the backside, up a hill, and as you know, we've had a lot of action in this area.
Yeah, turn 4 right here. Watch what happens to Jeff Dorr. You get offline, and you are in big, big trouble here at Antigo, Wisconsin, the Langlade County Fairgrounds. So now we're ready for Class 7S action as the rain has subsided at least momentarily. And remember, the storms are all around us. And this is a storm cloud that has hovered over Scott Taylor. This was earlier today. He blew a transmission in pre-running, Ivan.
Oh, this is a shame because he's going to be in the same position that Walker Evans was in. He's going to have to start the race without knowing for sure if that transmission is going to work or not.
And not only that, he's coming off what had to be a disappointing performance in Class 8 when he lost a transmission there.
That's exactly right. This is really, really a frustrating position to be in.
Now remember, he finished 7th back at round number 1, and look at where it puts him in the point standings for the True Value Pro Series. John Greaves, Jeff Kincaid, Art Schmidt, Tom Hockers, and Bill Bowles are 1 through 5. And there is Scott Taylor in 7th place.
We just never see Scott Taylor that far down the lineup, I'll tell you, Marty.
So now as we get ready for Class 7S action, you're on board with Art Schmidt and his Nissan. as he is going to have the inside position on row number 2 on this rolling start. Let's tell you what Class 7S is all about.
Two-wheel drive, production mid-size pickup, 4 cylinders, maximum 2.5 liters, and many could make just about 200 horsepower.
The Chevrolet starting field will have John Greaves, the current points leader. He'll be driving a Toyota. He's from De Pere, Wisconsin. Jeff Kincaid, second place in the standings. He's from Crandon, Wisconsin. He'll be in the True Value Ford. Then there's Art Schmidt from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's in the American Racing Wheels Nissan. Then it'll be Tom Hockers. He's got a 93 Ford Ranger. He's from Greenleaf, Wisconsin. Then you've got Brendan Gaughan, all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. At the age of 18, he's in a Jeep. And Scott Taylor, the man who has to make a move if he wants to defend that championship in Class 7S. He's from Belvedere, Illinois. The rest of the starting field in this huge Class 7S championship here at the Langley County Fairgrounds at Antigo, Wisconsin. The crowd will be coming to their feet, and look at those storm clouds off into the distance. Will the rain hold off long enough for us to get this race in?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind, Marty, these guys all want to get this race in before that big black cloud gets over here.
The pace truck getting ready to pull off. You see the course getting a little slippery right at that point. Water truck through there. And we head now down towards the starting line. The crowd on their feet. Will we get the green flag on board? Yes, and oh my, look what happens to Art Schmidt as the onboard camera literally gets coated with mud. And that's what a driver sees. Now there's Al Walentowski as he makes a move to take the early lead. A great start for Walentowski.
It really was. You know, you can see the muddy areas that they crossed there. And when that, whoa, look at Al's truck.
But he makes a nice recovery, Ivan, and holds on to the lead. Second place is Jeff Kincaid, and oh no, Scott Taylor is pulling his Ford out of this race already. He will score no points. This will be devastating in his quest to repeat as 7S champion. And there is John Greaves. He has gotten around Jimmy Crowder for third, but take a look at his truck when he comes by. It is coated with mud, Ivan. We talked about it before. Mud can be devastating to a vehicle.
Well, it really can. Not only for the radiator, but for your eyes and your goggles. You can't see where you're going. It can be extremely frustrating. Plus, you can run into things.
Got to tell you, we are not going to be able to see anything else from Art Schmidt's camera. The mud is so impacted that our lens cleaning is not capable of doing it. So we're not going to get any more pictures, at least for this race, because of the mud that has been thrown up. Now, let's set it for you. Jeff Kincaid has gotten around Al Walentowski, and he has taken over the lead of this race as, boy, he has got that Ford Ranger pumping through turn 1.
He really is. Look how wet those corners are. Those are really, really tricky to negotiate.
There was Walentowski. That's John Greaves. You can't tell anything on the side of his vehicle. He has been so coated with the mud.
Something interesting about John Greaves' truck, that he uses a 5-speed transmission when most everybody else in this whole class will use an automatic.
John Greaves and Al Walentowski. Walentowski holding on to the position. And yes, he'll maintain second place, but Greaves all over him.
One of the reasons they use that 5-speed is because it gives you a much better gear ratio. Look, he dives up high here and then down low. I really like his style.
Oh, boy, and takes the position there as Walentowski had one minor flaw, and that opened the door, and Greaves went past.
And that's all it takes when you got Johnny Greaves behind you. He's going to take advantage of it.
So now, Greaves in second. Whoa, there is Kevin Norris. He is pulling his Ford out of the race. Norris from Farmington Hills, Michigan, the 26-year-old, I'm sure, extremely frustrated. And this now the battle for 8th place. Joe Dunlap trying to hold off Dave Wolf as they head for turn 7 one more time.
Ooh, look at the push here on Joe's truck. That's what you call a typical push. He turns the steering wheel in the mud. It will not get around.
And then he ends up swinging way wide, losing a tremendous amount of time. Dave Wolf gets around him for 8th position. Oh, he's having all kinds of problems back there. You think he might just not have the right tire combination as well, Ivan?
Well, it could be tires. It could be steering's real slow, no telling.
Oh, no, this is John Greaves, and we talked about all that mud. Look at it, just caked there, and he's got an overheating problem.
Well, and also look at his eyes. He has no goggles. His visor's been up. He's got mud in the radiator. Not a good position to be in.
All the rain that quickly went through here has now created a major problem as John Greaves is going to try and tough it out. He needs the points. And there's Brendan Gaughan, same problem. He has got radiator overheating in his Jeep, so he pulls back out onto the race course as well. This could be a battle to see who can survive. Jeff Kincaid, your leader at the Chevrolet Off-Road Championships. Don't go away.
This is the desert. Chevy trucks. About the only thing growing out here is our reputation. Chevy trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Back at the Chevrolet Off-Road Championships, I'm Marty Reed, along with Ivan Stewart. Rick Johnson is in pit lane, and there is your race leader in Class 7S. That is Jeff Kincaid. He's approaching lap traffic of Bill Bowles in the 702 and Mark Eberhart in the 759.
Well, I tell you, with the lead he's got, Marty, I think it would pay to be a little bit more patient. I wouldn't be hitting those barrels, I don't think.
Well, Rick Johnson has made his way over to the John Greaves pit. He's caught up with crew chief Kurt Greaves. Rick?
John came into the pit with obviously some overheating problems. Is it the mud or was it the collision on the first lap?
I looked, it didn't look like the collision caused any problems, but mud was a big problem. So we washed it out with water and hopefully he can finish the race.
So there is Al Walentowski holding on to second place. Jimmy Crowder is in third as they come back up onto the racetrack one more time. This is a great battle going on.
Well, Jimmy's all over him here. Let's see what he tries to do if he can get underneath it. No, he's going to try the high side, Marty.
So as they head onto the interior portions of the racetrack, they too are finding lap vehicles in front of them. They always can play a factor if you're not careful. But so far, Walentowski, oh no. And we talked about John Greaves and the overheating problem. Our points leader will be the points leader no more, as he is now out of this race. And there is Art Schmidt, currently running in fourth place. And again, we had the onboard view until the camera literally got caked with the mud. And that's what happens when you have a lot of rain, and as it has been sporadic throughout the day.
I've noticed on the course there's been a lot of variety in the course. You get some dusty areas, you got a lot of mud, and then some dry corners. Lots and lots of challenges on this course.
On the final lap, race leader Jeff Kincaid, if he can hold on to this, he will take over the points lead in Class 7S. And gets a little squirrely as he heads into that sharp turn number 7. Here is the battle for second place. Walentowski still in front of Jimmy Crowder through the rhythm section.
And Jimmy's got to really be frustrated. You look how hard he's trying. He's got a problem, Mark.
We saw smoke out of the Ford of Jimmy Crowder, and now he's no longer right behind Al Walentowski. Could the overheating problems have caught him? No. He seems to be back underway, but he has dropped back.
But mark my word, I'll guarantee you he's got some kind of problem. If he falls back, he's got a heating problem or something.
So there is the checkered flag that awaits Jeff Kincaid, and boy, he will be very happy in victory lane, because with this win, he will move into first place in the True Value Pro Series Championship for Class 7S. So stay with us. When we come back, we'll get a chance to talk to the winner here at the Chevrolet Off-Road Championships in Antigo, Wisconsin. Back at the Chevrolet Off-Road Championships, there are the final results in Class 7S. Jeff Kincaid over Jimmy Crowder and Al Walentowski. Art Schmidt and Brendan Gaughan round out the top 5. There's 6 through 10. Ivan Stewart's made his way to victory lane. Ivan?
Well, Jeff, I don't know if you know that Scott Taylor didn't make the race, and I'm sure you know that Johnny Greaves went out. You know that puts you in the points now.
Yeah, I seen Johnny pull off there. I had a bad start. They started me out in 12th, and they left the door open for me on the corner here, and I shot right to the front. That True Value truck hooked up on them Goodyear tires, boy. I'm telling you, it was fun. I'm a little bit more dialing into on her, but she's pretty fast right now.
I noticed I got a lot of guys as they were going around the track that had a lot of problems with the mud in their eyes. Did you have any trouble at all with traffic or mud in your eyes?
Not too bad. We come up on a couple of them, but we got the tearaways and instantly pull them off and blow by them and forget them. We're by them. We're gone.
The confidence of being a points leader, and he is. Jeff Kincaid by 10 over Art Schmidt in the 7S battle for the True Value Pro Series Championship. You can see a 3-way tie for 3rd, and then 6th through 10th. And Scott Taylor in serious trouble with only 9 points after 2 rounds of racing. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, today is in Crandon, Wisconsin for the 3rd round of the S.O.D.A World Series of Off-Road Racing. It's the Chevrolet Spring Run. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, working alongside with Ivan, the Iron Man Stewart. Now, that also brings us to Class 7S. And for the latest in that division, let's bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Rick Johnson. Rick?
At the opening of the Antigo show, Jeff Kincaid said he was going to come out and run up front, and he did exactly that, winning the 7S class. Jeff, you're running strong, you're winning races, and you're consistent. What's the key?
This year we got a new truck through True Value. It's a little lighter. There's a little more durable motor in there, and I think all those add up, and it puts me right up front there.
Everybody's got a good truck out there, and everybody's running strong. But what is it that's making Jeff Kincaid run so consistent and so fast and winning races?
Well, I think it's the durability of the race. You know, you got to be there at the end. I like to run right up front there right away and make them chase me, you know. Catch me if you can is what I like to say.
Well, he's winning races. He's consistent. He's got the point lead. He's got the right combination for 7S.
Thanks, Rick. And weather conditions are absolutely ideal. 80 degrees. Humidity's a little on the sticky side, but a nice northwesterly 15-mile-an-hour breeze as we take a look at this layout.
Marty, we talked about the fast tracks. This is the fastest one of all the tracks that we do. Oklahoma Land Rush start. Very important to get down to that first right-hand corner. Fastest corner in all the racetracks we do. Probably 70, 80 miles an hour around there. If you miss that corner, you're going to Parsons Pond.
2 areas that you can pass. The first one being at the gravel pit.
That's right. That's a sharp left-hand corner. We see a lot of pads in there. And then another hairpin back up toward the start-finish line.
And then the long straightaway on the backstretch leading to the final turn, the other key passing zone.
That's exactly right, Marty. Those are the key areas for getting around this racetrack, and the passing points are the most critical.
And if you can't pass, you can't win, because this is absolutely the fastest layout on the tour, 2 miles in length. And here we are back at the starting line as Class 7S is getting ready for racing action here at Crandon, Wisconsin. Let's take a look now at the Class 7S True Value Pro Series standings. At Jeff Kincaid with a 10-point lead over Art Schmidt. Tom Hockers and Jimmy Crowder are tied for third. You can see the rest of the top 10. This is going to be a very important race for everyone to try and catch Jeff Kincaid. And wait a minute, that is Jeff Kincaid's Ford, and the hood is off. And let's see if Rick Johnson, he's down there, if he can get word with Jeff.
Jeff, a little trouble getting the car started. What seems to be the trouble?
The ignition, I think the ignition's giving up on it. I don't know for sure, though. We're checking it.
Oh, this has got to be so frustrating. Here's what 7S is all about.
Oh, that really is, Marty. 2-wheel drive, production mini truck or mid-side truck, 4 cylinders, maximum 2.5 liters. These trucks make about 200 horsepower.
And we'll see if Jeff Kincaid can make the Chevrolet starting field. This would be devastating. If he doesn't, he would not score any points. Art Schmidt in his Nissan will also be out there. Tom Hockers, those guys, yeah, he's got a smile on his face, especially if Kincaid doesn't start. Jimmy Crowder, he'll be in one of the Fords, the number 747, all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. John Greaves, his story this year, he either wins or he breaks, and he's been pretty good at winning. Scott Taylor in the 700, that's the BF Goodrich Ford. Here is the rest of the starting field on down through the pack, and we're still waiting to see if Kincaid can make this start.
Marty, that just worries you to death. I'll tell you what, even if the truck runs now he's going to be worrying the whole race, is it going to let me down again?
So there is the starting field stretched out in its entirety. Here we are on board with the Nissan of Art Schmidt, and it does not look like Jeff Kincaid is going to make the start of this race. That is him pulling off way in the middle of your screen.
Oh, Marty, that is an absolute shame to have that happen to you.
Now the question will be, who will seize the moment? It happened in Class 4. Jack Flannery not scoring any points and losing his points lead, and Art Schmidt takes the early lead.
Marty, remember, these guys don't have quite the horsepower, so they've got to find that hard ground. They've got to stay down there, get that truck right down to the ground, and really, really look for that good hard passage. So Johnny Greaves got the lead right here.
The Toyota John Greaves. Look at the rock kick up onto the hood of Art Schmidt in his Nissan. Down the straightaway that heads towards the gravel pit. Boy, listen to those rocks.
They are. This track is noted for that. A lot of people don't know that, but these rocks are big here. They hurt when they hit you. You can hear them hitting the car.
Through the gravel pit turn, back up onto the big jump that leads back to the finish line area. They do not catch quite as much air as the big Class 8s and Class 4s, but still plenty of close, exciting racing action.
And that's why it's so important. You see how Johnny gets that car through the corner just as efficient as he can. He's so good at that, throwing the car around and getting him through the corner just as quick and efficient as he possibly can with that small amount of horsepower.
Boy, John Greaves won at Lake Geneva, came back with a DNF at Antigo, and now finds himself in that position of everybody wondering, will he win or will he break?
That's exactly right, Marty. He's always been fast, always in front of the pack until something happens.
Well, last year was just a total disaster for him, and he came out of the box firing at Lake Geneva, and then he had an overheating problem at Antigo when there was a lot of mud kicked up into his radiator. Now, back in third, there you see Mike Burke and Jimmy Crowder. They are battling for position. And then Billy Beck is in 5th. Scott Taylor is in 6th. And talk about dismal years in Class 7S. Defending champion Scott Taylor is basically out of the running for the championship after 2 races.
That's really unusual for Scott. He has a tremendous amount of experience and understands these tracks, and he's just falling back here.
Little dust kicked up. There is the battle for 3rd. That's Crowder on the right, and he is going to take the position. Jimmy Crowder is now in 3rd place around Mike Burke.
It's interesting. All the guys in Class 7 have gone to the left of the track back there in that Oklahoma Land Rush start area. That must be a little bit harder ground, what they're looking for.
Boy, take a look at it. There's Crowder and Burke just coming into view, and then behind them, the battle continues when there's Scott Taylor.
Yeah,
so Taylor's just not been able to get that Ford this year for some reason to the front.
He hasn't. I'm not sure exactly what his problem is. He gets back in the back of the pack, and once you get hung up back here, it's really hard to get by these guys, Marty. He's just not getting good starts.
So as they head down into the gravel pit turn, look at how damp it is in that corner. Little water there, and boy, with 2-wheel drive, it can have havoc as you get through. In fact, there on the outside, that looked like Billy Beck as he gets passed by Scott Taylor.
Scott's got a little bit of smoke, too. He may not be making the horsepower we've been used to seeing out of that truck, too, Marty.
Back on board with Art Schmidt as he tries to reel in race leader John Greaves. And here's a battle for 4th position. That is Mike Burke's being pressured by Scott Taylor.
And he's getting pinched off again. Now he's going to get it underneath him. This is why I say it's really hard to get by. But he bangs him a little bit and goes on by.
Yeah, just a gentle nudge saying, Mike, I'm here and I'm going by. So Scott Taylor controls 4th place. This could be his best run of the season so far. John Greaves, Art Schmidt, and Jimmy Crowder, your top 3 at the Chevrolet Spring Run. Stay with us. Marty Reed, Ivan Stewart, Rick Johnson is in pit lane. There is your leader, the 2nd vehicle in your shot. That is John Greaves in his Toyota, about to put Brendan Gaughan a lap down.
Brendan Gaughan from Las Vegas, Nevada, has a tremendous amount of desert experience, but he just hasn't got a lot of experience here on the short course, Marty.
There's Art Schmidt. Brendan has had some pit time, and there he is going a lap down now as he gives way to the race leader. And that's a nice gesture.
That was a nice gesture. It really was to do that. Doesn't have to do that, but he did move out of the way. That was great.
And there is 2nd place. So now you get a gap of about, a dozen truck lengths. So it looks like John Greaves is taking command of this race. Now on board as Brendan Gaughan again is about to be passed as we head down into the final turn. You're on board the Nissan of Art Schmidt. Can't do it there. He can't dive under him. He shouldn't get him here on the straight.
Brendan pulled over for him there. Art's going to go down this left-hand lane to see he should be able to get by Brendan.
Just sit back and ride.
Marty's really interesting to watch attack and listen to the engine and the tires as they hit the ground. It really, really jerks the suspension.
Down through turn 1, Art Schmidt trying to reel in the leader. Here is Scott Taylor trying to reel in Jimmy Crowder for 3rd place. So Taylor making his best run of the year in Class 7S action. And he looks like he's going for it.
He's serious, Marty. You know, Jimmy Crowder's a tough guy to get by.
This is the battle for 3rd. They head down. That is a very steep drop-off there into that dip. And then you have to have the horsepower to climb back up the hill. Here is race leader John Greaves. And the white flag is out. He has 1 lap remaining. So it looks like the feast or famine fortunes of Johnny Greaves are going to continue here as he wins the first race, DNFs the second, and is on the verge. Oh, no! And Scott Taylor is in the pits. Let's go to pit lane and Rick Johnson.
Scott, what happened? You're in early.
I don't know. Something let go on the back straightaway. Oil light come on, or something went bang, and the oil light came on, and that's where we're at. We don't know what it is. Oil pressure was good. Temperatures were getting up a little high, and I don't know. We might have punched a radiator. I don't know what's wrong. Something happened.
So Scott Taylor has had the same misfortunes this year that John Greaves had last year.
Once you get that black cloud hanging over you, Marty, it's tough to get rid of it. That's what Scott's got, that little black cloud on him.
Well, here is the Feast and Famine kid, and it looks like it's going to be feast for the 2nd time in 3 races as Johnny Greaves is going to take the checkered flag to win here in the Class 7S Championship of the Chevrolet Spring Run here in Crandon, Wisconsin. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our race winner, and we'll update the point standings in the True Value Pro Points Series. Don't go away.
These tires are really working out here, and you know, and the Toyota. Toyota's best truck in the market right now, and we're going to show them that. But, you know, I ran into a lot of flaws last year, and we spent a lot of time over the winter, and we got it dialed. So I'm looking forward to a good season.
I was a little bit surprised, and I don't know if you were surprised, that Art Schmidt was so strong off the start. Plus, he held with you pretty well. I was really kind of amazed, but it's only his third race in Class 7 that he was as strong as he was.
Yeah, he is strong. You know, Art's been a good driver in everything he's been in, and he's got a hell of a good truck under him, and I knew he was going to be a contender, and he was, and I would have liked to put more time between us, but I couldn't do it.
Taking a look at the True Value Pro Points Series Championship, Jeff Kincaid drops to 4th, but look at this. Art Schmidt leads John Greaves by 2. Jimmy Crowder's in 3rd with 37. And there you get a glimpse at the remainder of the top 10. Brendan Gaughan slips from 5th down to a tie for 8th. Now, we showed you earlier on the onboard camera systems just how much mud and stones get thrown up into the drivers' faces. Well, Ivan took some time earlier to go behind the scenes and take a look at how these guys protect their vision. Ivan?
One of the biggest problems these guys have on these short tracks is visibility, being able to see. Traveling 80, 90 miles an hour, rocks, mud being thrown up in their face. Remember, there's no windshield, and the trucks are literally feet in front of them. Let me show you some of the top drivers use. This is Scotty Taylor's helmet. Scotty uses just a closed-face helmet, takes a rag with him, and just wipes this shield off as it gets dirty. This is Johnny Greaves' helmet. Johnny uses what we call tear-offs. These little sheets right here, when they get filled up with mud, he just pulls it away and goes to the next one. The latest technology, Jeff Doerr's helmet here, they use what they call a clear ray. It's a little electric motor on this side that reels these clear sheets across his helmet, across his face. When it fills up, he just hits this button. Clean shield. I think if I were racing out here, this would be the helmet I would choose.
Wait a minute, he's the Iron Man. You don't use any helmet.
God, give me the sunglasses. All I need.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. In Class 7S, 3 races, 3 different points leaders. But Art Schmidt is the leader now, and he has yet to win a race. But strong finishes tell it all. 6 points separate these 4 drivers: John Greaves, Jimmy Crowder, and Jeff Kincaid, along with Art Schmidt. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage today, is in Luxembourg, Wisconsin for round number 4 of the S.O.D.A World Series of Off-Road Racing. It's the Chevrolet Off-Road Challenge.
An exciting battle in Class 7. We've had 2 different winners, but the man who's leading the points hasn't won a race yet. Art Schmidt, you're leading the points, the best finish to 2nd place, but you're still running very strong.
Well, this is our first year running a Nissan truck, and we're trying to stay consistent. That's what's put us in the first place lead right now. Now that we're there, we're going to try to stay there.
Are you going to try to go for that win? Because I know it's a psychological battle of breaking through that barrier of winning your first race, and you've done it a lot of times in buggies, but is that your goal now, or are you still focusing on the championship?
Well, really, we're trying, really now we're going to start pushing the truck hard. We're really looking for our first place win maybe this weekend.
Taking a look at the race conditions, we have definitely got a chance of rain. In fact, it is already starting to rain, and the chances of it getting harder are about 100%, according to the weatherman. Let's take a look at the Luxembourg layout, Ivan.
Well, Marty, this starts off on the Kewanee Fairgrounds Oval. Good start, real tight first left-hand corner, back around, back in this tight section on the right-hand side of the course. It's going to be tight back there, really hard to pass. The passing is going to be back in this long sweeper back on the backside.
The rain has come. I mean, it is here in buckets, and this is going to create major problems for everyone as it is pouring. Let's take a look at the standings here in the True Value Pro Series of 7S. Art Schmidt leads by 2 over John Greaves. Jimmy Crowder is in 3rd place, and Jeff Kincaid in 4th. Now, we had a chance to talk to John Greaves and Jimmy Crowder before the start of today's soggy race.
Well, this year is a whole new ball game for me. You know, I'm more hungry than anybody else out there, and I'm here to win. We had a bad season last year, and we went home and we did our homework. We got our bugs worked out, and we're coming back. We're taking no prisoners this year, you know. I really got a point to prove, and I got to start winning some races, and we're on the right track now.
Makes me feel good that I can take a Ford and run with those guys. They're one of the best, and we try as hard as we can try, and makes us feel a little bit better to if we can get up on them, and we're going to be after them today.
Marty, let's see what 7S is. 2-wheel drive, production mini or mid-size pickup. Engines has to be 4 cylinders, maximum 2.5 liters. Take about 200 horsepower.
And let's set the Chevrolet starting field for you. Here he is, the points leader coming into today's race. Art Schmidt, he'll be in the Nissan. Toyota will be represented by John Greaves. He has been on a mission. Jeff Kincaid, one of the Ford contingent. He'll be driving number 707. Jimmy Crowder, you saw that interview with the Southern drawl all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. And Al Walentowski, been one of the big surprises of the season, been very consistent. He's running well. Brendan Gaughan, all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. He'll be in one of the Jeeps in number 711. Tom HOCKERS, another member of the Ford contingent. He'll be in the number 705. The rest of the starting field, including Scott Taylor, last year's champion, it has been a dismal season. In fact, this rain would be indicative of the season that Scott Taylor has had in Class 7S.
That's exactly right, Marty. Look at here. This is going to be a driver's drive here, let me tell you.
This could be a matter of sheer survival. Remember, these are two-wheel drive vehicles, and this track is clay, it is slippery, and there we go already getting a lot of bumping and banging as these guys just have no opportunity to get much traction.
This is where a guy's got to completely change his driving style. He's got to get way ahead of the corner. He's going to have to flick the truck around, get that thing sideways 30, 40 yards before the corner if he's going to get around that track efficiently.
That's Kincaid you just saw falling well back of the pack. That is Scott Taylor, who has moved out to the lead.
And these two guys, first and second of the Masters of those, especially Johnny Greaves. Scott Taylor can also flick the truck around and get it around these corners. Let's see if he uses that style. He's going to have to get around here, I'm afraid.
So it is Taylor in front of Greaves. Art Schmidt, your points leader, in third. Jimmy Crowder running in fourth. And look at the rain coming down. If this keeps up, Ivan, it's probably going to turn into a mud bog rather than an off-road race, and these guys won't enjoy that.
No, it's an extremely frustrating condition because you never know when you're going to turn a little bit too early, a little bit too late. The truck just slides out through the infield.
And there's only so much that you can do with tire grooving.
That's right. And remember, these trucks have got what we call a spool in the rear of the truck. They're two-wheel drive, but both wheels turn exactly the same. So there's no inside wheel turning slower than the outside wheel.
Take a look at what Art Schmidt is experiencing. Now, we have an automatic lens cleaner, and luckily it's still working. If you don't have it today, you are going to be eating a lot of money. Being out front is going to be the best benefit that any racer could enjoy.
Well, Marty, we talk about tires. Look at Art Schmidt, just got completely sideways.
Well, let's go down to pit lane because Rick Johnson has got an update on the tire situation. Rick?
As you can see, the rain is coming down hard. A lot of the drivers chose for a hard, slick, dry tire because the race before, it was completely dusty. Now, as you can see, the rain's falling down. A lot of the drivers got caught with the wrong tire.
And it looks like Rick Johnson got caught without an umbrella. Hang on, Rick. And while we were away, John Greaves has gotten around Scott Taylor to take the lead.
Well, I got to tell you, Marty, that anybody can adapt to these conditions, and the style of drive that you need to have is John Greaves.
Well, you've been a big fan of his since the first time you saw him race. In fact, some of the people think you ought to be his agent. But it's not just John Greaves. There are a lot of great drivers out here. Jeff Kincaid's been one of them. He's had some misfortunes lately. There you see him in third place fighting his way back. And back at Luxembourg, John Greaves, you see him there. He's trying to make it 3 in 1994. And Scott Taylor is trying to turn around what has been a dismal year. Stay with us. It may be turning into a mud bog, but we'll keep racing at the Chevrolet Off-Road Challenge. Johnson at pit lane, and this is the Chevrolet Off-Road Challenge in Luxembourg, and it's turning into a mud bog, and this is a shame for these drivers. Oh, a spin there. That's Brendan Gaughan going all the way around.
Well, I tell you what, Brendan Gaughan is definitely not used to this kind of mud. He comes from Las Vegas. You need never see this.
Yeah, they're lucky to see 5 inches of rain in a year. I think we've got 5 inches in about 30 minutes.
That's right, Marty.
So now it's a matter of who is going to be able to survive to the finish line. John Greaves has a very good lead over Scott Taylor in second. Jeff Kincaid struggling in third. Everybody's struggling. It's not the driver's fault. There, you see just how slow you've got to come in, pitch it around, and then hope that you can power through.
And then you just hope it doesn't push to the outside. It's really, I've been in these conditions before, and really can be frustrating.
Well, if it rains much more, we may have to shut down racing for the day because the track can only hold so much, and the motors will only take so much.
That's right, Marty. It'll be a situation we'll have to start drowning motors, and actually getting stuck on the course could be disastrous.
Jeff Kincaid, as the white flag comes out, that's the best thing everyone is probably saying right now is, yes, let's just get this one over with. As there you see John Greaves on board. I don't know how this onboard camera system is still working, but Art Schmidt, whoa, and he's going all the way around. Almost gets tagged there, but manages to survive. And you can see that was a full grandstand when we started the day, and everybody's run for cover. Look at the lens of our cameras even fogging up now as the rain continues to pelt down. here at Luxembourg.
Well, as you said, Marty, these guys are certainly looking for that checkered flag. They'd like to get this one over with and, gosh, go on to the next race.
And at the finish line, making the last corner, there is John Greaves, and the checkered flag comes out, and Greaves wins for the third time in 1994 here at the Chevrolet Off-Road Challenge in Luxembourg, Wisconsin. If he can get it stopped, we'll talk to him in victory lane. But first, we'll take a time out to try and let him clean up a little bit. Stay with us. Don't go away. We'll be back after this. Back at the Chevrolet Off-Road Challenge, there are the final results. John Greaves, Scott Taylor, Jeff Kincaid with Faye Stetsney, and Jimmy Crowder rounding out the top 5. Let's go to victory lane with Ivan.
Well, Johnny Greaves, you made the statement early this year that you were going to run hard. You were coming out, you were getting serious, and you said, you mark my word, you watch who's going to be the champion this year.
Yeah, you know, like I told him before, I said, I don't think there's anyone out here that's hungrier than I am for a couple wins, and I missed a lot last year, and I'm going to make up for it. And it's going to take a good truck, good driver to stay ahead of Johnny Greaves this year, because we're doing our homework and we're working hard, and we're winning races.
Well, I tell you, either wet, dry, muddy, sloppy, Johnny Greaves, you're doing a heck of a job. You know, you played the traffic. I watched you in traffic, and you got a few breaks, but you played it extremely well. And were you concerned about mud getting in the radiator? I thought you might get mud in the radiator in your eyes, and that was really going to become a problem for you. Yeah,
I was real concerned about my eyes because I used up all my tear-offs early in the race, and so, you know, I just kind of, I got around Scott, and I saved my last tear-off and kept lifting up the shield, and the traffic, boy, that was harder than the track, you know, just trying to get around them guys. And the BFGs, we were set up right for this race, and when I turned it, it went, and when I gassed it, it went forward. So between BFG and that Toyota and that fat motor, we're hooking up. We're gonna win this. We're gonna win this series.
Well, let's take a look at the True Value Pro Series Championship, and John Greaves widens his lead over Art Schmidt and Jeff Kincaid to 10. Jimmy Crowder still has a shot at 48, but Al Walentowski well back with 35. And there is the remainder of the top 10. Dunlap, Bowles, Taylor, Gaughan, and Michael Berg. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage today, is in Crandon, Wisconsin for the 25th running of the Chevrolet World Championship. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, and over my shoulder you can see the capacity crowd beginning to file in as they're getting ready for a great day of racing as we celebrate the silver anniversary of this great event here in Crandon, Wisconsin. Take a look at that crowd as we take a look also at the race conditions. 65 beautiful degrees, only a 20% chance of rain. This is absolutely ideal conditions.
Great racetrack we got to. This is the granddaddy, Marty, the big one. Oklahoma land race start. You've got to get to that first corner first. 2-mile track, lots of speed. You better bring some horsepower.
Yes, and they've put up a fence around Parsons Pond because it was named after Dave Parsons after he took a swim several years ago. So we don't have to worry about anybody dropping into the pond. This is the parade that they held downtown. You got to remember, Crandon, Wisconsin is a community of 2,000 people, and they support this race. In fact, they have built it into their trademark, and they have done a great job over the 25 years, and this was their celebration, and this was my favorite, the Bedrock Mobile. I mean, look, what a great piece of work. Class 7S is now getting ready for the starting line. Remember, John Greaves comes into this race in control of his own destiny. The man who is in second place is Art Schmidt. He is 14 points behind. He's the only one with a mathematical chance at getting past John Greaves. Let's go talk to Art Schmidt about his strategy.
John right now is running real well. Truck's working good. I don't know. We're going to try to pull him to the first turn. Our truck's running well also. I think if we can pull him to the first turn, we'll be able to stay out there.
Marty, let's look at Class 7S. Two-wheel drive, production mid or mini-size pickups. Engine 4-cylinder, maximum 2.5 liters. And these trucks make about 200 horsepower, about 100 miles an hour.
John Greaves heads the Chevrolet starting field. He's from De Pere, Wisconsin, at the age of 28 on the verge of a championship. Art Schmidt, all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at age 39. He'll be in the Nissan. Jeff Kincaid, the number 707 Kincaid, right here in his hometown of Crandon, Wisconsin. He's 29. Al Walentowski from Pickerel, Wisconsin. He's 27. and Jimmy Crowder, the number 747, all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. Brendan Gaughan, one of the youngsters, 19 years old. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. And the rest of the starting field, defending champion Scott Taylor has had a dismal season in Class 7S, hoping to make a rebound here and maybe get a little momentum started for 1995. A huge field in Class 7S as we are just about ready for the drop of the green flag here in Crandon.
They're off, Marty. So important to get to this first corner first.
The drag race. Now remember, in the spring race, John Greaves was the winner here. So it's everybody trying to chase that man. There he goes, right around. Art Schmidt's strategy of pulling him into turn one didn't work.
He tried, he just couldn't do it. Ooh, and Johnny gets it up on 2 wheels.
Boy, I'll tell you, what a nice job of saving it on the bicycle. John Greaves in first place, Art Schmidt second. It looks like Bill Waterstrat in third right now. Jeff Kincaid in fourth. As they head down towards the gravel pit for the first time, Schmidt has to pull out all the stops. He cannot wait.
One of the unique things about John Greaves' truck, we want to remember that he uses a 5-speed transmission, and that might be one of the reasons he always gets such good starts.
Right now, he's got that 5-speed Toyota hooked up and flying as he is. Boy, they got quite a bit of water down on this track for maintenance, and I'm sure it may have a bit of bearing on the race here in the early go. I don't think maybe the guys were quite ready for that much.
Well, what it's going to do more than anything is the visibility for the other drivers. Plus, remember the fact that this mud also goes in the radiator. Big problems for some guys.
Well, it doesn't go in the radiator if you're out front. Whoa, the door swinging open on Jeff Kincaid's truck. He's trying to close in on Bill Waterstrat.
That really shouldn't hurt anything. As long as the safety guys don't think it's going to be a problem, there shouldn't be a problem at all.
Here they come down into the valley, and remember, this is a very steep drop-off. And then you got to have the horsepower, and it really works, these little 4-cylinder motors having to come back up that hill. So far, so good. A couple of course workers moving back. Depth perception is deceiving there. The racers are well off into the distance. But they're getting around Waterstrat for third place, Jeff Kincaid. So Kincaid, the only man other than John Greaves to win a race this year. Kincaid won at Antigo, and from that point on, it has been all John Greaves. And look at this lead. He has stretched it out to about, 12 truck lengths over second place, Art Schmidt. And boy, Waterstrat trying to come back one more time on Kincaid.
I'll tell you, Jeff Kincaid had a different line coming down. If anybody can catch John and we'll go for it 100%, it'll be Jeff Kincaid. We'll see what happens here. I know that he's really, really hungry.
Well, he is all over the back bumper of Art Schmidt. And on the outside, can he make this pass stick? It's awfully wet down at that end of the gravel pit. I don't think so. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring the conclusion of the 7S Championship here at the Chevrolet World Championships. Marty Reed, Ivan Stewart, and Rick Johnson back with you at the Chevrolet World Championships. And this is the battle for second, third, and fourth. That is Art Schmidt, Jeff Kincaid, and on the left side, that is Scott Taylor. During the commercial break, he has moved up into contention for this position. In fact, he is around Kincaid. He is running hard. He has really got something to prove. He has had a dismal season. After last year dominating this class in 7S, he just has struggled one race after another, and this would be a great way to cap it off if he could do well here heading into 1995. Right now he's in third, right behind the Nissan of Art Schmidt.
It's a good passing place coming up. Coming into the gravel pit, see if he can outbrake Art. Nope, he's way too far back.
Schmidt on the horsepower down into the gravel pit, and that's exactly what it was. At one time, it was a gravel pit, and the hood starting to come up on the Toyota of John Greaves. Now, this is the battle for sixth. That's Al Walentowski, Bill Waterstrat, and Joe Dunlap. There's Waterstrat in the 716, and there's Walentowski in front of him there, and Dunlap brings up the third member of that group. They're all battling for sixth as they come over the final big jump, which leads to the last turn right before the finish line. Ducking down on the inside, taking a look. No way. Waterstrat's not going to be able to make that hold up. Walentowski holds on to the position. He's in sixth. Waterstrat is seventh. Back to the battle for second place, as that is a lap vehicle in front of Art Schmidt and Scott Taylor closing. Jeff Kincaid right behind. That's second, third, and fourth. Back on board now with Art Schmidt as he is still trying to get around the lap traffic there and into that final turn.
Oh, it's a great shot here, Marty. Watch the throttle foot. He's obviously going through some moguls here, because you can watch the pump of the throttle. As the tire hits the ground, he gives it throttle. As it comes up in the air, he gets out of the throttle. Great shot.
That is Art Schmidt, second place. Third place, right behind him, Scott Taylor, and then Jeff Kincaid is in fourth. And these guys are still hoping that something happens to John Greaves' truck, because if it doesn't, they don't have much chance of anything, because he is so far out in front.
I tell you, Art Schmidt.
Schmidt has lost the left front tire. So any chance of the championship going to Art Schmidt is being plowed into the dust.
It looks like the whole spin will come off. Not just the tire and the wheel, but the whole spin will come loose, Marty.
So now that man, John Greaves, who has radio communication with his pit, will be told, hey, the championship is yours. You can put it on cruise.
Which I doubt that he'll do, knowing John Greaves.
Well, that is Al Walentowski on the left side of your screen. He has moved around Tom Hockers for fourth place. So those two are still doing battle. Oh, no, wait a minute. Scott Taylor. Oh, and boy, we talked about his problems this year.
It just keeps plaguing him, Marty. He must be, he's not living right or something.
So Taylor ends the season on a down note in Class 7S. But this guy can identify with that feeling. That was his story last year.
That's exactly right. He went through exactly the same thing last year. So many times we've seen leading races and just go by the wayside.
So John Greaves on his way to his 5th win in 6 races. You want to talk about domination? It has been with a capital D, and it's got John Greaves' name tacked all over it. Last turn, as he comes around, he'll look at the checkered flag, and there is your new champion for the True Value Pro Point Series and the Chevrolet World Championships. Class 7S, John Greaves from De Pere, Wisconsin, and you better believe he is one happy driver. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to our new king of Class 7S. World Championships, we could etch his name in granite, at least for 1994. 5 out of 6 times, John Greaves has taken his Toyota to victory lane. As you see, there's the rest of the top 10. Let's go down to victory lane. Ivan Stewart's with our champion.
Well, John, you told me at the beginning of the year that you were going to be the champion, the Class 7 champion, and you did it. True Value Points champion, Class 7. How does it feel?
Oh, it's great. You know, coming up to this day, every day I woke up with a little sweat, you know, just wondering how is this day going to work out. And now that it's over, I couldn't be happier. And the pressure's off, and we're going to have some fun tonight. 5 wins this year. You know, last year, as we talked about, that dark cloud just kept plaguing you. You led a lot of races. You just couldn't get the finish line. A lot of hard work, I'm assuming. Oh, yeah. You know, last year taught me a lesson, and I didn't let myself out of the garage all winter, and now it's paying off, and I'm going to do it again this year.
That's a frightening thought for everybody else in Class 7S. Here's the final standings in the True Value Pro Series. John Greaves with 100 points, wins by 25 over Jeff Kincaid. Jimmy Crowder moves up to 3rd, and Art Schmidt drops to 4th. There is 6 through 10. And guys, get back in your garages, because you're going to have to do a lot of work. As Johnny Greaves says, he's going to go loaded for bear one more time.